Comebacks in games against AC Milan. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Jurgen Klopp's side came from 2-1 down at Anfield to win their Champions League opener.
We started getting a bit complicated. That was the one mistake. The other mistake is last line, how I said, was slightly too deep. So that's easy. We showed one picture, only one picture from the first half, where we show the boys here, last line too deep, here midfield. We need a eight who is pushing up in the challenge, then the other two have to adapt, and that's the moment when we are organized. Fabinho can pick these balls up. Everybody who plays in that position can pick these balls up, but if we are not organized, then they just pass the ball through the gaps. So I was actually waiting for half time. I was really happy when the whistle came, and we could sort that. We sorted it, and then we didn't have that problem anymore, and that's it. So I was not angry at all. That's a job to do. I cannot celebrate 30 minutes and then for 50 minutes I'm angry or whatever. It's just to make sure that we have a chance to win the second half. That's what we did, and all fine.
So, David, they survived that scare against AC Milan. How big a test was that for them?
What an incredible game. I mean, it's the first game in the group stages, and that could have been the final. I mean, it was just, and ironically, considering they've only ever played each other in Europe in the final of the European Cup of the Champions League, then that would have been fitting. But yeah, I mean, they survived the scare because in the end, Liverpool were just too good for them. I mean, Henderson's goal to win the game was, again, a fitting goal. There's echoes of Steve Gerrard wasn't there in the game against Milan. But overall, I mean, I think Jurgen put it so well there, as he normally does, but he would have been ever so frustrated had Liverpool not got something out of that, because, as he said, for half an hour, if not 40 minutes in that first half, Liverpool were just absolutely battering them. And, you know, it was a very big surprise, the equaliser, an even bigger surprise for the lead for Milan at half-time. But all in all, Rob, incredible game of football, 3 points for Liverpool, and a fantastic start to the Champions League campaign.
Yeah, another 23 shots in this one. We saw them miss a hatful of chances against Leeds too, despite the 6 goals in the last 2. Will Jurgen Klopp still be thinking, right, we need to be more clinical here?
A difficult argument when you're winning. Obviously, you want perfection, and you know, the fact they conceded 2 goals, we'd have been happy with the 23 shots and a 3-0 scoreline again. But the fact that they've conceded a couple of goals will be the frustration, as he alluded to there. But I just think that it's looking at the shots that are being taken. You know, Henderson's goal, for all the quality that was involved in it, is still a long-range shot. There was a lot of long-range shots yesterday. You want to see the shots coming inside the box. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, that might be Liverpool's first goal outside the box this season. Hence, you know, again, this is a side that like to get inside the box to score goals. But, you know, if you keep creating the chances, then you're going to score goals.
You love your stats. I love it. I love it. Let's talk about Divock Origi. Came in for Sadio Mane. He went through the middle, a shotter out to the left. Jurgen Klopp praised his performance. Interestingly, admitted he was surprised there was no offer for him in the summer. What does he still offer Liverpool?
Yeah, I saw his interview again, or part of that interview, where he was talking about Origi, and he spoke of him obviously very highly. Strangely, you would have thought he would have played him earlier, given there's been games that he could have been involved in beforehand. But I thought his performance was part of as I say, a fantastic overall performance by Liverpool. He was a big contributor to that. Hopefully, he'll get the opportunities to score the goals. I mean, his Champions League record for scoring goals, his last goal was in the Champions League final. So, you know, he's one of those who's not going to be, and I think just thinking about Emil Heskey comes to mind, you know, he's not going to be one of those frequent goal scorers for Liverpool, especially in Champions League, but his contributions are obviously going to be important. And I think he's got a big season ahead of him. The way that Jurgen was talking, you would think that he's got a big part in that. So it'll be interesting to see how Jurgen sort of rotates that forward line and gets Origi back into goal-scoring form.
Yeah, at the other end of the pitch, Joe Gomez came in for Virgil van Dijk. They've also got Joel Matip, Ibrahima Konate and Nat Phillips too. So quite a contrast, isn't it, to last season when they struggled in that area so much. So how impressed are you with the strength in depth that Liverpool have now?
I think what was interesting, and sort of I was covering a game last night, that Virgil van Dijk, I didn't see him doing any warm-up. He was just sort of seemed to be sat there quite comfortable. I think he was quite cosy, quite often a smile on his face, which you don't often see on the pitch. But the fact that Jurgen could rest him for the full game, put Gomez in there, get the win, which is the most important thing, is again a demonstration of how much depth Liverpool have got. You know, you say Nat Phillips, who I thought was superb last season. These guys will be chomping at the bit, and if Jurgen is going to be resting players like Virgil van Dijk during the season, then these other players will be looking forward to the opportunities to prove themselves once again. So they say stark contrast to last season, but yeah, it's a good 24 hours for Liverpool.
Yeah. And another goal for Mo Salah, although he did miss a penalty too. How impressed have you been with him so far this season?
Mo Salah, yeah, this guy's been frustrating for me in the last sort of 18 months. I say for me, just as a Liverpool supporter, because he's so talented, and I thought, especially last season, too much of the game was going through him, which was to the detriment of the rest of the team. And because they qualified for the Champions League, in the end, it was okay. But this season, he seems to have started different. Maybe that's because I think Liverpool have started different. More players are getting involved and scoring the goals rather than the dependency on Mo Salah. And I think he proved it last night. You know, missing the penalty at a crucial time, because, you know, going 2-0 up, you would have imagined Liverpool would have gone on and rump that. But he was still in the game second half. He scores his goal. And, yeah, I think there's that nice blend. I mean, it's just, I think the issue of Liverpool is obviously whether or not they can sort out that contractual negotiation. I know Liverpool fans around the world want him to stay at the club, but that's going to be the big question mark.
The winning goal, you mentioned it, Jordan Henderson. I just wanted to touch on him. Interesting time for Jordan Henderson, isn't it? How do you think Jurgen Klopp will use him this season?
Again, I mean, because I think with the as we talked about, the strength and depth that Liverpool have got, that's across the board now. Hendo doesn't have to be exposed necessarily too much. Obviously, big games, big moments, you'll imagine it will be involved, like his goal yesterday. I mean, it was an interesting shot for those who didn't see it. It's a volley, half volley from the edge of the box. And if he catches it sweet, then he'll probably have the shot saved. But he caught it just right, curled away from the keeper into the bottom corner. But yeah, I mean, captain fantastic. He is someone that Liverpool will need if they want to have any chance of winning any silverware this season. So they've got to protect him.
Yeah. Finally, a word on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Impressive going forward at right back. There's a butt coming, you know. Both goals came down his side. We've seen that midfield experiment as well, haven't we? Was that wrong, or where do you see him going forward?
I think when you look at Trent, I mean, the goal, it was an own goal in the end, but I mean, had he not made such a great run, playing his little 1-2 to get through into the box, then obviously that goal wouldn't have happened. But again, I think with Liverpool, and I was listening to the show earlier when they were talking about Pep Guardiola's win ratio as a Manchester City manager. Liverpool will win most of their games, you'd imagine, this season, but it's the defensive side. And not that Trent can't defend, but if he's going to be pushed into awkward positions on the field, or should I say attacking positions, then there's always going to be a slight vulnerability. And that was exposed, as you say, last night towards the end of the first half. So I think with Trent, you know, he's just going to keep going forward. He looks happy again, which for every Liverpool fan, I'm sure, is a delight, because last season was a bit tricky for him. And if he can do this and continue to do this for Liverpool and for England, then I think just generally everyone's going to enjoy his season.